Good morning, students of class 10. We will continue the lesson Nelson Mandela, A Long Walk to Freedom. Now, yesterday we were talking about the inauguration ceremony where dignitaries from 140 countries have come to accompany them to pay homage and respect to the newly elected government. Now we will continue some more. On the day of the inauguration, Mandela became emotional with the sense of past history. He began to think about the past history where South Africans have suffered so much. The Anglo-Boer War. There was a war between the white-skinned and the dark-skinned people. Just a few years before Nelson Mandela was born. Anglo-Boer War fought a few years before he was born. He knew the history of South Africa and he began to think during the time of inauguration. Number B, the white and the dark-skinned people. The white means the Europeans and the dark-skinned people means the South African people patched up. Patched means there was an agreement. They had an agreement after the war. Patched up their differences. Whatever differences they had, they made an agreement and elected a racial domination. They elected a government, a racial government, who make differences between the white and the dark-skinned people. A racial government was elected there. Number C, the structure. The structure means the system they created after they patched up their differences. The structure created was one of the harshest, very cruel. Harsh means very cruel, harshest and most inhuman. Why Nelson Mandela said that harshest and inhuman? Because they were very cruel. They made a difference between the Africans and the Europeans. Africans were not given any kind of opportunity, any kind of rights. Inhuman societies the world has ever seen or known. The world has never seen this type of racial government before. They were so cruel. Now the system had been overturned for many centuries. They ruled South Africa, and now the government was overturned after a lot of hardships, after struggle, sacrifices made by the South African people. The government was overturned. They were very much successful throwing out the Europeans from South Africa. Now the system had been overturned and replaced by one. That government was replaced by a new government, which is called a democratic government, by a new one that recognized the right and freedom of all. Now this new government, after overthrowing that racial government, a new government was formed that recognized the rights and freedom of all the people, regardless of their color of their skin. Now here, number E, the unimaginable, unthinkable. The unimaginable sacrifices of South African people whose sufferings and courage can never be counted or repaid. Their sufferings and their courage and their sacrifices cannot be expressed in word. It cannot be repaired or it cannot be counted. Unimaginable, unthinkable sufferings, sacrifices they made just to liberate their country from the racial government. And now ultimately they were successful and a new government was set up, which is a democratic government. Now here, number F, he thought At that time, Nelson Mandela thought he was simply the sum of all those African patriots. He is standing on the dais giving speeches to the dignitaries, to the people. At that time, he thought that he was the sum of all those patriots who have sacrificed and who have gone before him, who have African patriots who have gone before him. What does that mean? Who have died, who have laid down their lives for the country, to liberate their country, who had gone before him. And the noble line ended. A good line of patriots had ended, because now the country became free. And a new line began. A new line began again with him. The new line means the free country where all will be given rights, freedom. A new line started. The old line has ended. They have sacrificed their lives, and that line ended, and another line started with Nelson Mandela, where all the people will be provided rights and freedoms. But one thing, Nelson Mandela was very sad. He could not, or the South African people could not thank them, those people who sacrificed their lives. They did not get the opportunity to thank them. And those people who have sacrificed their life, they could not see this happening. The new formation of new government, they could not see that, and these people, African people, could not thank them. This thing Nelson Mandela always thought, and he became very sad thinking about those people who sacrificed their lives, and they were unable to thank them as well. So that's all for today. We'll meet in the next class. You continue reading at home, open a book, go through the book, as well as you look at the points. It will help you a lot. So that's all for today. We will meet in the next class. Thank you very much for watching the video. Thank you.